Good evening and welcome to the Manteno Village Board meeting for Monday, December 16th, 2019. Let's call the meeting to order, and if we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Boyce.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Dole. Here. Crockett.
Here.
Geske. Here. Phillips.
Here. We have a quorum tonight. As always, we begin with the approval of the minutes. We have the minutes from our Truth and Taxation public hearing that occurred on December 2nd, 2019, and also our regular board meeting minutes from December 2nd, 2019. The minutes have been included in everyone's packet, and hopefully everyone has had the opportunity to review them. Are there any changes, additions, deletions, corrections? Seeing none, I would accept the motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented by the clerk.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Crockett, second by Boyce. Roll call.
Crockett.
Yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Dole. Yes. Geske. Yes. Phillips.
Yes.
Motion carries. Public participation, Mr. LaRock, has anyone signed up to address the board?
No one this evening, Mayor.
Village President's report. The only thing I've got tonight's our last meeting for the year. The next meeting obviously is the first Monday in January, so we should be able to close out the year tonight. Just a little bit, some comments in regards to the event that we had here in last Saturday, the Lighting of Maine, the business walk. Sarah did another great job. We had, a great night. I know there was, probably over the course of the several-hour period, there were several thousand people that were here for the lighting of Main Street and the business walk. I know that the library recorded over 900 people that were, that were at the library, and a lot of people didn't make it all the way down that far. A lot of people were just here for the lighting and for the other ceremonies, other things that took place. But we got a lot of great compliments. Again, Sarah did a great job in organizing the thing. The food vendors ran, all ran out of food because of the crowd that we had. So another, great event that she had, and the weather cooperated a lot more this time than it did over the course of the Oktoberfest weekend. So a great job to Sarah. We have engaged a company now that is doing a lot of videotaping of our events, and so you'll see more photos, videos, and more things being posted online. We're going to have that company that's going to be at all of our different events throughout the year, so we'll be able to make an updated video on a regular basis, and we'll be able to update our website with all our new videos and the new photos. Speaking of the website, we are in the process of updating that, and I think Chris has sent out in the last week the sketch of what that's going to start to look like. If you have the opportunity over the course of the next week, please get on that link and go through it. That's not live yet. It's eligible to be changed, so if you've got any ideas of what you like on there or what you don't like on there, now's the time to comment about it so we can try to get that up and going in the first part of the new year in January. That's really the only thing I have. The village administrator's report, Mr. LaRock.
I have nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, go on to the committee reports, Public Works and Utilities, Mr. Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I got a few items tonight. Ordinance authorizing the sale of personal property, surplus municipal equipment. We're going to be surplusing a tractor and 2 riding lawnmowers.
Is that, how are you going to do that, Jim? Is that going to be something that's on eBay or?
Yep, we'll put them on eBay and see if we have any luck. And then after that, see if we got any local interest at all.
So anybody that's watching this tonight, if they go on eBay in the next couple of days, these things will be able to be on there, and they'll have a certain amount of time to bid on that.
Okay. My next item is a motion to waive competitive bid requirements and authorize the purchase of a John Deere 5090 E-Cab utility tractor from AHW LLC, Manteno, Illinois, for a cost not to exceed $61,305.64. This is a state bid purchase.
Okay, so this is the state bid. We don't have to go out for bid, and obviously we can buy it from Hogan Walker right here in the village.
Nice to keep it local. My next item is a motion to waive competitive bid requirements for the authorizing the purchase of 2 Kubota's ZD 1211 60-inch riding motors from Martin Implement, Orland Park, for a cost for a cost of $13,435.04 each. This is another competitive state bid, kind of?
That's Sourcewell, which is a national bidding company. So.
And the Kubotas are the ones that we've had in the last several years, and they, these are just upgraded models from what we currently have. The guys are happy with that make and model. They've done a good job over the course of time, and they're familiar with the operation.
They perform great.
Okay.
I have a public works meeting tomorrow at 7 a.m. at the Village Hall Conference Room. That's it.
Any other discussion on any of the items that we're purchasing? We've talked about these at all our committee meetings and discussed them. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Boyce. Properties and Recreation, Mr. Martin.
Nothing tonight. Our next meeting is not till March 18th, which will be here sooner than we think. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Public Safety and Health, Mrs. Dole.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any action items on the agenda tonight. My next public safety meeting isn't until next year, which isn't that far away either, on January 8th at 7 a.m. at the Village Hall Conference Room. I wanted to talk a little bit about some new legislation being passed and going into effect on January 1st. Governor Pritzker signed the bill into law on June 25th, legalizing recreational marijuana use and the sale in the state for adults on May 31st, 2019. The new law takes effect in Illinois on January 1st of 2020. Residents are considering purchasing, possessing, and consuming marijuana need to make sure they understand all the aspects of the law. Here are some common questions. Who will be able to purchase marijuana legally? Adults aged 21 and over. How much marijuana can legally be purchased or possessed? Up to 30 grams or about 1 ounce of marijuana plant material, edibles totaling no more than 500 milligrams of THC and 5 grams of cannabis concentrate products. Can I grow my own marijuana? Only medical marijuana patients will be able to grow plants at home. They are limited to 5 plants. Will I be able to smoke wherever I want? No, you will not be able to smoke marijuana in public, in vehicles, and in many other places. Consumption in private residence will be legal. Who will be selling marijuana? On January 1st, existing medical marijuana cultivators and dispensaries will begin selling to adults until new licenses are approved. There are none currently in the village of Manteno. Chief, I don't know if you want to add something to this or more than this. It's kind of a summary, but...
Yeah, sure. I think the biggest things, like you said, is people need to understand what the law actually is. I think there's a general perception that it's just legal and you can kind of do what you want with it, and that's actually not the case. It's actually pretty restrictive. Like I said, you can't smoke it in public. It's really just at your residence. You got to buy it at a certain place. You got to transport it under a minimum amount of weight in a sealed container approved by the state. You can't drive it or smoke it in a car. The DUI laws apply to marijuana just like they do alcohol. So I think people just need to be very careful that they're complying with the law when they start doing it. It's basically going to be allowed in your home. There's a little gray area. So we've had several questions about smoking it in your yard or on your porch. There's some places that have put it out that you cannot. The law is actually a little gray in that area, so local law enforcement is going to have to decide how they're going to enforce that. But it's basically just in your residence.
Thank you. Also wanted to say with the holiday real close, home safety rules are your smoke and CO alarms are in place and working. Fire extinguishers are in place, each level of the floor. Address can be seen from the house and mailbox. Making sure someone is in the kitchen at all times when cooking. Don't forget Manteno Fire offers its home safety inspection for anyone. Will call Station 1 at 468-7100 to set up an appointment. Keeping our car doors locked is very important. That's something we talk about every week or whatever, every meeting, and it continues to be something we need to stay on. So, that's all I have.
Did you want to comment, or the chief comment? I know I've had a lot of questions about the cameras on it. There's a new, or there was for a week or so, that new camera that you were testing on the overpass. You want to comment a little bit about what that was all about? Or I don't know if it's still out there or if it's gone now.
It is not. They took it down last week. It was just a trial of LPR, license plate reader camera, that already exists out there, but we were trying a different type of camera to see if we get better results. It worked out pretty well, but it was just a trial, and that trailer's gone now.
Okay. So the original cameras are still there and operational, and that was just an upgraded version to see whether or not it's something that we want to look at in the past. And you've had a lot of comments or inquiries from other departments that wanted to use those information from those cameras too. I mean, they can read the license plates of all the vehicles going across that overpass, and it's turned out to be, beneficial for a lot of different things that are taking place.
Yeah, extremely useful for our cases, and like I said, a lot of cases that occur in other parts of the county they call us for.
I also had one other thing. I don't know, Jim, do you want to mention about parking on the odd and even streets, the snow plowing and stuff like that? I know
Yep.
we're that season.
Yep, based on the calendar, odd days, you're supposed to park on the odd side of the street with, the odd addresses. And then the same applies in the even days and even side of the street. It just helps us get the roads clear. You got cars parked on both sides, that limits both snowplow and then just normal traffic. And instead of chasing around both sides of the street, cleaning up, it'd be nice just to do one side.
And there will be possibly citations issued if they're
Could
not...
be a last resort. If you can't find the owner, we'll definitely try to get somebody to move it first, but it's possible.
When the initial snow is no big deal, but if we get a lot and then it freezes up and then it becomes an ice cube, and then we're not able to plow it because, the ice is built up, so.
We're not going to have that this year.
I don't think so. We got 40 degrees next week.
That was last year.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Dole. Planning and zoning, Mr. Crockett.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two items this evening. The first one is ordinance 19-27, an ordinance granting a special use permit to allow for installation of a drive-in bank at property owned by People's Bank of Kankakee County and located at 198 South Creek Drive, Manteno, Illinois. People's Bank of Kankakee County needs approval of a special use permit to allow a drive-through for a proposed bank to be constructed on their property on South Creek Drive. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on December 10th and is recommending approval of the special use permit for the bank drive-through. Second item is ordinance 19-28, which is an ordinance granting a special use permit to DFKF LLC, the petitioner, and Robert Akins, the third owner, for the operation of an animal hospital to be located at 1004, 10016, and 10024 Lincoln Drive, Manteno, Illinois. This request for a special use permit is required for allowing the operation of an animal hospital in the C2 zoning district. The Planning Commission also held a public hearing to discuss the petitioner's request and is recommending approval of the special use permit to allow the existing building at 1004 Lincoln Drive to be converted to an animal hospital. The additional addresses are vacant lots associated with the existing building. Are there any comments, questions on either one of those items?
Yeah, again, both of these we've discussed at different committee meetings before they went to the Planning Commission, and obviously both of these are for potential new businesses that want to locate in the town, so I think both of them are a great addition to the community.
Pretty straightforward. All right, our next Planning and Zoning Committee meeting had a change of date. It's Tuesday, December the 17th, 7 a.m. Village Hall Conference Room. That's tomorrow morning. The next Planning Commission meeting is scheduled for January the 14th, 6 p.m. in the Village Boardroom. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Crockett. Finance, Mr. Geske.
Thank you, Mayor. The only item I have is payment of bills in $299,544.38, of which TIF bills from TIF 1 are paid at $124,466.67. Our next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for January 8th, 7 a.m., and there have been no bills paid to
Mr. Geske, General Government, Mr. Phillips, you've got something tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. A motion to approve the 2020 schedule of meetings and the 2020 holiday schedule for next year.
Yeah, both those schedules are in your packet and need to be approved prior to the end of the year so we can schedule everything for the coming.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. The items that we'll be voting on in the consent agenda then are as follows. Item number 1 is a motion to approve the 2020 schedule of meetings and the 2020 holiday schedule. Item number 2 is ordinance 1926, an ordinance approving the sale of personal property, the surplus municipal equipment. Item number 3 is ordinance 1927, an ordinance granting a special use permit to allow the installation of a drive-in bank at property owned by People's Bank of Kankakee County and located at 198 South Creek Drive, Manteno, Illinois. Item number 4 is ordinance 1928, an ordinance granting a special use permit to DFKF LLC petitioner and Robert Eakins III owner for the operation of an animal hospital to be located at 1004, 1016, and 1024 Lincoln Drive, Manteno. Awarding of bids, a motion to waive the competitive bidding requirements and authorize the purchase of a John Deere 5090E cab MFWD utility tractor from AHW LLC Manteno for a cost of $61,305.64, which is a state bid. Item number 2 is a motion to waive competitive bidding requirements and authorize the purchase of 2 Kubota ZD 1211 16-inch riding mowers from Martin Implement of Orland Park for a cost of $13,435.04 each, which is also a Sourcewell national bidding process. And the motion to approve the payment of the bills in the amount of $289,544.38, of which $124,466.67 are TIF 1 bills. Are there any items on the consent agenda that need to be voted on individually? Seeing none, I'd accept the motion to take a single roll call vote on the question of passage of the agenda items as read.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Martin, second by Boyce, roll call.
Martin.
Yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Dole.
Yes.
Crockett.
Yes.
Geske.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Motion carries. I'd accept the motion to approve by unanimous vote the ordinances, resolutions, motions, and orders contained in the consent agenda as read. Motion by Geske,
Second.
second by Dole, roll call.
Geske.
Yes.
Dole.
Yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Crockett.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Motion carries. Comments tonight, Mr. Boyce, do you have anything you want to talk about?
No, it's Merry Christmas, everybody. That's it.
Mr. Martin?
I agree. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you next year at the next meeting.
Mrs. Dole?
Like I said, just wishing everyone a holiday season full of peaceful moments and simple pleasures.
Mr. Crockett?
Just Merry Christmas and everybody stay safe and hope to see you back in 2020.
Mr. Geske?
Same as everyone else.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Just a reminder that we all have a committee meeting tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. It'll still be dark, but we've got one tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock at the Village Hall. So we've got a couple of weeks till the end of the year. Jim, hopefully your guys won't be getting a lot of overtime over the course of the holidays, but that always seems to be the time that Christmas Eve is usually when we get a snowstorm, and so those guys will be working when they need to be working. You've got all the equipment ready to go, and I mean, obviously you've used it already. How are we doing on salt supply?
Yeah, we're good. We've got 100 tons on order as of today, but we're in good shape. Guys were out this morning at about midnight with the end of that storm, and worked out pretty well. Had everything cleaned up for the morning commute. So
The kids leaving the lights alone, or the lights staying on all the
we've
time?
had a couple good days. I don't want to.
We've had some incidents where we've had some people that evidently didn't like lights, so they were going around unplugging things. So hopefully we'll be able. We got cameras all over, so you can identify them. So the police get to go visit them the next day, but they seem to forget that they're on camera for everything.
So far, so good.
Well, with that, I would accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Crockett, second by Dole, roll call.
Any questions, feel free to call.
Crockett.
Yes.
Dole.
Yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Geske.
Yes.
And Phillips.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much for coming and for watching.